Perfect. I think though, Senor Miguel, we cannot see your face. Ah, there. Perfect.
There you are.
Better now.
Ah, perfect. And it's a grateful picture. Now, everybody. ASEAN, and also good morning to those of you who are joining us from Europe or perhaps other parts of the world. My name is Susanne Renzo-Vaso. I am part of the Euraccess worldwide team here in ASEAN, together with my colleague, Dr. Jenny El Mako. You can see Jenny at the top. Hi, Jenny. Now, Euraccess Worldwide is a global network, and we are dedicated to facilitating researcher mobility and research collaboration between Europe and Europe's global partners. Jenny and I are based here in Southeast Asia. Jenny is in the Philippines currently, but she's moving to Vietnam soon. I'm based in Singapore. We cover the whole Southeast Asian region. And as I said, we're part of a global network. We have colleagues in North America and India and China. It's really an opportunity for you to get connected with European partners and with researchers, innovators, scientists anywhere in the world. Today, you're joining us for the 7th edition of the European Research and Innovation Days in ASEAN. This is a platform which we are creating for you, for our community members. And we want this to be a dialogue where you can meet each other, you can learn from each other, you can establish collaborations for your own research career, maybe also for collaboration projects that are happening at your university, at your research center, or maybe in the company that you're working in. Today's session is focusing on what's happening in Spain. The session is called How Renewable Hydrogen Drives Energy Transition in Spain. We have a fantastic panel of experts prepared or invited for you, and they're all here to speak to you. And to introduce you to the moderator, I'm now handing over to Jenny to do the honors. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you so much. And just to remind everybody that tomorrow we still have two sessions at 8 a.m. CET, that's 3 p.m. Singapore time, and 2 p.m. for Vietnam and Thailand. We will have the session on Austria. They will be talking about startups. And since Spain is our overachievers, they will have another session tomorrow. So please join us for that. And it will be at, let me just check the time for tomorrow. It will be at 4:30 p.m. East SGT or 9:30 a.m. CET, 3:30 p.m. for those of you in Vietnam and in Thailand. So without further ado, today we are going to talk about how renewable hydrogen drives energy transition in Spain. And to guide us in this discussion, I'd like to welcome the International Trade and Investment Officer, also in charge of Deep Tech and Industry 4.0 of the Economic and Commercial Office of the Embassy of Spain in Singapore, John Ochoa, who is also responsible for bringing together all of our incredible speakers. Thank you so much, and the room is yours.
Thank you so much to you, Jen, and thank you to Susan and to all the Euraccess team, especially here in ASEAN, for organizing this event, this research and innovation days focused on European Union. And today for Spain, we want to speak how renewable hydrogen drives the energy transition in Spain. That's the title of our webinar, of our great panel with great panelists. And for that, we have 4 different panelists, 2 of them based here in Singapore, in ASEAN, but particularly in Singapore, and other 2 based in Spain. So yeah, it would be Ana Flor Albuquerque, that's the Deputy Head of Mission of the Embassy of Spain, then Jose Maria Blasco, the Director of the Infrastructure, Health and ICT Division in ICEX, Spain Trade and Investment, who I also have to say that used to be the Economic and Commercial Counselor here in Singapore, so he knows also this area. Then Miguel Laburu, that's based here in Singapore, Director of HAWES, focused on renewable hydrogen, and Nora Fernandez, Principal Manager and Coordinator in the Energy and Environment Division at Tecnalia Research and Innovation based in Spain. So now I'm going to head directly to my colleague of the Embassy and Deputy Head of Mission, Ana Flor Albuquerque. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. Gracias, John. Buenas tardes a todos y a todas. Good afternoon to you all. I'd like to start by saying that it is an honor for Spain to participate in the 2022 European Research and Innovation Days in ASEAN, which brings together policymakers, researchers, entrepreneurs, scientists, and the broader public of our regions, the EU and ASEAN. Spain is a long-standing supporter of ASEX. Thanks, Susan and Jen. And on this occasion, as was said earlier by John, thank you, we will be focusing on how renewable hydrogen drives energy transition in Spain. It is indeed a privilege for me to open this webinar in which I am participating together with Jose María Blasco from ICEX Spain. Buenas tardes, buenos días, Jose María en España, with Miguel Laburu from HAWES, un saludo, and Nora Fernández from Tecnalia. Muchas gracias, Nora. Spain acknowledged very soon that energy mix transition towards renewables was needed. 40 years ago, we had the first solar power plant connected to the net. 30 years ago, we also had the first and biggest solar plant in Europe. This proves that from the very beginning and very early in time, there was a strong commitment amongst government, companies, and civil society agreeing that a change was needed. Since those early years, Spain took advantage of its talent, its research and development teams, companies, resources, and our geographic position to lead the energy mix transformation. We can humbly say today that Spain is a world power in renewables. Spain has the largest solar resource in Europe, and we stand out for our wind resource too. As a result, my country has a powerful industrial value chain in photovoltaic technology, producing 60% of the components. With regards to wind power, we manufacture 90% of the equipment. Those are important elements to develop hydrogen. I can also proudly say that in the field of research and development, we are the 3rd largest country in the EU. Spain is also a leader in integration of renewable generation into the electricity system. Moreover, in December 2021, the Spanish government approved the strategic project for the recovery and economic transformation of renewable energies, hydrogen and storage, with a public contribution of more than 6.9 billion euros and a private investment estimated at 9.5 billion. This will create more than 2,800 jobs to develop technology, knowledge, industrial capacities, their integration into the productive sectors and new business models. All that will reinforce Spain's leading position in the energy transition process. This plan seeks to maximize the opportunities of the transition to a carbon-neutral economy and to reinforce Spain's strategic autonomy, as was said during the COP27. In particular, hydrogen is a key energy vector to achieve a future with clean, safe, and affordable energy. Hydrogen allows decarbonizing sectors there, where, to say the least, it is today very complex to introduce sustainable solutions. I'm thinking in fields such as heavy transport, steel, cement, or the chemical industry. Spain firmly believes that hydrogen is a new step towards a new transition of the energy mix, and it is already a reality in our policies and on the ground. I would like to bring to your attention that we have a renewable hydrogen roadmap that establishes, among others, that the objective of reaching 4 GB of production capacity by 2023 is a reality, 10% of the EU total production capacity. Both the quantity and the quality of renewable resources give Spain a competitive advantage in the incipient development of renewable hydrogen, which will allow us to become an international hub for the technology. It is one of the priorities and the main element of the plan I mentioned earlier. It receives actually the most support, 1.5 thousand million euros, which will mobilize another 2.8 thousand million euros in private capital. In all, what makes Spain a reference is precisely the multidisciplinary approach to the new renewable energy mix, hydrogen indeed, and also power storage systems, development of the marine energy generation, our talented researchers, our companies that are big whales in this sector, and of course, the firm support of the government of Spain and our civil society. Without further ado, I give the floor to José María Blasco. Many thanks for your attention. Muchas gracias por su interés. Either José María, over to you, or John. Thank you so much.
Sigo yo, okay. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias, Ana Flor. As John was saying before, it's exciting for me being today with you in this webinar, because I have in my heart Singapore and Southeast Asia, because when you live for 3 very intense years in a country, in an area of the world, you will maintain it in the heart. That is my case. It's a pleasure to be again with Jen and with Suzanne. It's I hope you remember me. I remember you, and it is fantastic for me to be here. I have to tell you that I'm the less expert of all the panelists today here from Spain. So for me, it's a very honor to be with them, with Miguel, with Nora, with Ana Flor. I had the opportunity to meet Miguel 2 or 3 times when I was living in Singapore, even under the COVID situation. But I didn't have the opportunity to meet Nora before, so it will be a pleasure listening to her today. My presentation is going to be, I'm going to share my screen. Please tell me if it is. Okay. I'm trying to share. Yes. Okay. Do you see the presentation?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you. So it's going to be quite general, I think, but it's if you follow it well, that I hope to give the information correctly to you. I think it's full opportunities for collaboration between researchers, scientific collaboration, R&D, joint projects between Spain and other countries. As what is happening in Spain regarding green hydrogen is fantastic, in the sense that 1 year ago, that was the time when I was coming back from Singapore to Spain, and I was starting in this position in the Spanish International Trade and Investment Promotion Agency, and I was asking about the green hydrogen sector in Spain. Okay, there was many voices, many ideas, but there was nothing. There were no facts. There were no reality of the projects. But today, 1 year after that first view that I had of the sector, Spain is increasing the number of projects that are already a reality of producing green hydrogen in Spain, and the opportunities, as I said, there are a lot as far as I consider. I hope you will share my opinion after this presentation. At ETHEX, at the end of my presentation, I will also explain how we work with the sector. But we, at the end of the day, we are facilitators of contacts, and we are already doing that bilaterally with many countries in the world. So the presentation today is quite general from my side. I'm sure that they will go more technical, my colleagues Miguel and Nora. So it will be a whole picture of the situation. But we are working more in detail with bilaterally with some countries and exchange experience, ideas, and collaboration and potential working together with researchers, with companies, where R&D centers, with scientific collaboration. So we are already doing that because we have the map of the green hydrogen sector in Spain. You will see at the end of the presentation some idea regarding this. But one of the first ideas I want to share is the map in Spain is already, the mapping on the green hydrogen sector is already done, and there is a lot of demand for connection with foreign counterparts at different levels: corporate, SMEs, startups, scientific collaboration, researchers. So let me start by the beginning, and I just will add some information to the first words by Ana Flor. So Spain, it's how was Spain in 2020? So I'm trying to compare Spain 2020 and what we are now in terms of clean energies, of renewable energies, including also the solutions of what we are doing in green hydrogen. So in 2020, Spain was already a reference in the world on renewable energies. Spain ranked the 5th in the world in the list of the top wind and solar power countries. Yes, after Denmark, Uruguay, Ireland, Germany, in terms of how the different forms of energy are making up electricity production, and 40% of this electricity production was coming from sources of renewable energy in Spain in 2020. If we are talking about installed renewable energy capacity in 2020, Spain was the 8th in the world, with in total almost 60,000 megawatts, so 60 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity installed in Spain, just after USA, Brazil, India, Germany, Japan, Canada, and Spain, as I said, was the 8th in 2020. Regarding wind, as we have more developed on this, Spain was the 5th in the world rankings in 2020, and regarding solar, with almost 12,000 megawatts, Spain was the 12th. It's also important to talk about water. Again, I'm not an expert, but when I was introduced into the sector, it's important not only the capacity for renewable energies of a country, but also of how water is managed in a country, because for getting the green hydrogen, at least how we are doing it in Spain, with using the electrolyzers for the water, and getting the hydrogen, the green hydrogen, applying renewable energies to the water. It's important to have a lot of hydric stress in a country, and this is the situation in Spain. In the last 20 years, we changed totally in Spain how the policies and the management of water is. And we are coming from a very sensitive and political sensitive hydric stress in Spain to a more balanced model based on river basins. That is a fantastic reference for many countries in the world that are following and collaborating with Spain regarding the water managing, not only regarding conventional and non-conventional resources, especially desalination and reusing of the water, but also digitalization, that Spain is also collaborating and improving a lot in this term. So water and renewable energies, that are the two keys for the green hydrogen. Regarding what we are doing now, Spain has a strong commitment on fighting against climate change, on clean energy, and Spain is one of the leaders in the negotiations, for example, regarding the Paris Agreement, or now in the COP in Egypt. So Spain is one of the leaders in the Europe, and then as a consequence in the world, in getting this commitment, okay, for the clean energy all around the world. With Spain, we have the law of climate change and energy transition that established the project. This is a strong commitment in two different phases. The first one, that is finishing in 2030. Our objective is the reducing greenhouse gas emissions by a minimum of 20% below the 1990 level. levels. We also want to generate at least 74% of Spain's electricity from renewable energy by 2030. And we want to guarantee 35% of the final energy consumption coming from alternative sources. So we also want to improve in storage and energy efficiency by 35%. And there will be an increase in renewable energy capacity in Spain up to 1,024 million megabytes by 2030. So it's more than double the current figures that we have in 2020, and there are already plans on the table that we are increasing the tenders for increasing, as I said, the capacity of renewable energy in Spain. And regarding the phase 2 for 2015. We want to achieve the 100% renewable energy support, so totally self-sufficiency on renewable energies. And we want to reduce the greenhouse gas emission by 90%, in line with the 2030 agenda and the Paris Agreement on climate change, where I say that Spain is one of the leaders in the negotiations. So we, apart from that 2 phases program, it's important to explain, as Ana Flor was doing before, that we are adapting all the funds that we are receiving by the European Union in the post-COVID situation. We are, again, adapting to the existing legislation regarding the National Energy and Climate Plan in Spain. So for the next 2 years, from 2022 till the end of 2023, so 40% of the 70,000 million euros that we are receiving from the European Union, we will use for climate and green projects in Spain. And we are putting on the table, we are developing the projects through strategic plans. And one of the plans that are called PERTES, as Ana Flor was saying before, will be on renewables, green hydrogen, and storage. The figures were already shared before, and the most important thing is that through the green hydrogen roadmap that was published in October 2020, we are going step by step, following the strategy that was established in the PERTE. But before going to the more detail to the green hydrogen roadmap, yes, let me also share with you that Spain is also collaborating abroad with, for example, the World Bank, and other institution like the World Bank, for example, with the program SMAP and with the program the SFLAC. The first one is a fund by Spain with the World Bank with 8 million that will be help. We will collaborate in the development of the green energy sector in countries that are aimed by World Bank as that have been identified by World Bank as they have a need for developing the green hydrogen sector among the countries that are normally the ones who are working with the World Bank. And the second one is more detailed in the sense that Spain already financed with 500,000 euros working together with Chile as a reference country in Latin America and in South America in the green hydrogen sector. So Spain is collaborating through the World Bank with financing the development of the sector in Chile. But let's come back to the situation in Spain. And so the roadmap in Spain regarding green hydrogen. So again, we have the double vision, 2030 and 2050, with ambitious country targets already in 2030, focus on industrial and mobility sectors in Spain. And the first important figure is that the expectation is to have an installed capacity in electrolyzers of 4 gigabytes in Spain by 2030. And this is what I was saying before, that is becoming a reality quite fast. Like 1 year ago, we didn't have any reality regarding these gigabytes in electrolyzers, but now there are more and more projects that are already built, that are already building this capacity in electrolyzers in different areas in Spain, with different countries, with different consortiums, with different private companies that will use the green hydrogen generated by these electrolyzers. So I will explain a bit regarding these projects later. But the total capacity in 2030 for generating green hydrogen in Spain, the expectation is 72 gigabytes. So this is in these projects are the ones in which we are going to invest the millions that are included in the PERTE that Ana Flor was explaining at the beginning. The intermediate milestone in which we are now, we are in the process till 2024, is to have installed in Spain power for electrolyzers. So inside the umbrella of these 4 gigabytes, that is the objective in 2030, we want to have in 2024 already working between 300 and 600 megawatts of electrolysis producing green hydrogen in Spain. I think we will be closer to the 600 megawatts than to the 300 megawatts because of the last very good news that are coming from the European Commission that I will explain later. We have other explicit milestone beyond the building of the electrolyzers and the new capacity. So 25% of the industrial consumption by 2030 we consider can come already from green hydrogen. We are also on the pipeline the creation of between 100 and 150 public hydrogen stations in Spain. Regarding the railway sector, in which Spain is also a reference, we want to have by 2030 2 commercial railway lines working with green hydrogen, and they are the companies in the sector that are already working on that. 7,500 vehicles for transportation will be based on fuel cell electric vehicles technology, and also 200 buses also for 2030. So by 2030, the reduction coming from the use of green hydrogen, we think that can get up to 4.6 million tons of gases CO2 or similar. So this is the main objectives of the green hydrogen roadmap. And this is some of the projects that are already a reality in Spain. And this is the projects that when I say that we are having these bilateral contacts with other countries, these are the projects that we are looking collaboration for. So even if they are already working, we are around these projects and new investments around these projects is what we are looking collaboration. And I said that we go to the detail bilaterally with countries. So happy to talk regarding that. Some of the projects are the one by Iberdrola, that is the Europe's largest electrolyzer plant, 20 megabytes in Puerto Llano, that is with industrial application. Also Iberdrola, with they build the first hydrogen plant for mobility with capacity for freight supply, 2.5 megabytes. It was built in Barcelona. But in Barcelona, there are already 6 hydrogen buses and at least 2 hydrogen stations that are working in the city. Acciona built the first plant power to energy in Mallorca in collaboration with a company that is also established in Singapore, like it's called Hyperbaric. And anyway, there is a new startups and technological ecosystem that is arising in Spain around the green hydrogen, and you will see the map at the end of the presentation. And I was talking before about the good news that were coming from the European Union. I think it was last week when the European Commission approved I think it was 35 new projects for building new capacity in the different European countries regarding green hydrogen, and 7 over 35, these 35 projects will be developed in Spain. They will be developed by Repsol, 3 of them, and Endesa Enel, 2 of them, and also EDP, the Portuguese utility, and Iberdrola. So there are new projects that are adding the forces to the ones that were already built or they are in process right now. So it's not week after week, but process after process in collaboration with the European Union and the rest of the country. New projects are on the table and they will be developed in Spain in the following years. Now there are, as I would like this presentation to be shared with all the audience, there are now 2 more technical slides. One regarding our global view regarding the future of the green hydrogen and the other color hydrogen, and another slide regarding the perspectives of the Spanish market. It is in English, even if the title is in Spanish. So happy to share the presentation and the figures, and happy to answer to any question that will come from sharing these slides. And this is one of my first conclusions, that in Spain we are convinced that green hydrogen will force our renewable potential, because there will be a better inclusion of renewable energies in the energy mix in Spain, and we will improve and we will be closer to get this 100% of sources of renewable energy for our consumption of our electricity in Spain by 2050. It is a lot of transversality and decarbonization for industry, transport, production, coming from little research for little projects, for R&D projects. The application on green hydrogen in different industries is tremendous in Spain. So we are also into the circular economy, and green hydrogen it's important regarding this. And finally, the position, the geographical situation of Spain is fantastic. So in connection with Latin America, with the north of Africa and Southeast Europe, and the idea of Spain is not only to be self-sufficient in terms of renewable energies with the potential of green hydrogen, but also export green hydrogen to some countries in the world that we are already collaborating with them. So finally, it's a great opportunity for Spain's own economic and technological development. It's something that is political in Spain, and when something is politically convinced in Spain, it's better to work on collaboration and commercial opportunities. I'm getting to the end of my presentation by sharing that according to IRENA, so it's an E-miss in the IRENA. So according to IRENA, the green hydrogen in Spain will be cheaper than blue hydrogen and other kind of hydrogen by 2076. Spain has the largest electrolyzers capacity planning looking ahead to 2030, 72 gigabytes. So it will mean a generation of green hydrogen of 72 gigabytes. And the next country in Europe that it's in this list, in this ranking, is the Netherlands with 10, Greece with 5, Germany with 4.2. That is why, according to the European Union, between 52 and 55% of the European green hydrogen that will be produced by 2030, it will be generated in Spain. And it's also a reality that, as I was saying before, 7 over 35 of the projects that were approved by the European Union some days ago, the expectation is that 50% of the European projects on electrolyzers and energy to hydrogen projects will be developed in Spain in the following years. This is the way that we are working from ICEX with the private sector on green hydrogen. So in Spain, in ICEX, as we are the international trade and investment promotion agency in Spain, so we work attracting foreign investors and foreign collaboration from abroad to Spain, but we also want to help to support the business development by the Spanish companies abroad. And we have identified two kinds of different countries. One, countries that are potential international net exporters of green hydrogen in the future, and on the other side, potential international net importers of green hydrogen in the future. And the relation with these countries, depending on which list you are, is different. With the potential net exporters of green hydrogen, the collaboration starts now. So we can collaborate, allow for the very beginning of the value chain of the green hydrogen, and it is a reality of collaboration now. But we are talking about net importers of green hydrogen in Spain. The opportunity for this country regarding Spain is to import the green hydrogen that Spain will produce in the future. But in the meantime, there is a lot of potential collaboration regarding technology. For example, regarding the potential international net importers of green hydrogen, we are working, for example, with Germany or with Korea or with Japan. And regarding the net exporter of green hydrogen, we are working with countries like Australia, but also with countries like Morocco, or with Paraguay, or with some other countries in Latin America. We work hand to hand with the Spanish Association of Hydrogen. That's why we have direct connection with the private sector in Spain. And you have here the list of countries with which we have already organized detailed in-presence or virtual webinars or seminars to talk about particular opportunities. So we did with Canada, Mexico, Costa Rica, Chile, Colombia, France, Germany, Poland, Ukraine, China, South Korea, Japan, Australia, Greece, Namibia. And I think that there is a lot of more potential collaboration with countries, particularly Southeast Asia. Besides the mapping of the Spanish green hydrogen sector in Spain, there are very important national and international companies already established in Spain that are developing the country together with the public sector, but it is much more than that. We have hundreds of companies that are in the different levels of the value chain of the green hydrogen in Spain that are already involved in the different projects, and the potential for collaboration with these hundreds of companies, I think is the key for a better improvement of the sector, not only in Spain, but also in the countries that we collaborate with Spain. So that's all from my side, and happy to stay with you to answer any question by the end of the webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jose Maria. Very interesting insight from Madrid, from ITEX. Now we will have the voice of Miguel Laburu, that has been in this industry and is actually a co-founder and the CEO of Haweas here in Singapore, and is also the vice president of the Hydrogen and Fuel Cell Association here in Singapore. So he's an expert on this topic. So the floor is yours, Miguel.
All right. Well, thank you very much, John. Good afternoon, good morning to everyone, depending on your geolocation. First of all, thank you very much to the organizer of this event and the kind invitation to present Haweas and what is our view about the renewable hydrogen in Spain and how that impacts also in other parts of the world. Before I start, I think that makes sense to give a short introduction about who we are. So Haweas is a company that provides one-stop low-carbon solutions for industrial, commercial, agricultural sectors based on renewable hydrogen. We have offices in Spain, offices in Singapore, where we drive our European operations and our Southeast Asian and Australian operations from Singapore. The question probably that I wanted to start with is today, the title of this event is how renewable hydrogen can can hold a role to in the energy transition in Spain. I believe that as a little bit following what Chema has said, I don't think that the strategy, the renewable hydrogen strategy, is only something that is happening in Spain. It's happening all around the world. Well, you have seen that many countries in Europe, many countries in the Americas, now in Asia. Last week, actually, during the SHU event, the Minister Lawrence Wong actually also released the new national hydrogen strategy here for Singapore. So I believe that all of them, on all of the countries are working on this strategy to decarbonize the economy. And that is why the renewable hydrogen is one of the key players in all of this, because the renewable hydrogen is basically what is going to help to decarbonize all these applications that so far they have not been able to be decarbonized because we have been using during the recent years or the fossil fuels. Now it's time to change that. And when it comes to electrification, then it's easy to solve it because you just need to connect to the plug. But when it goes to certain applications in which may not have electrification, like could be shipping, transportation in general, shipping, planes, trains is maybe an exception or something that we could argue, and cars. But they are also in the industry for some different processes where heat and cooling are key on the production. Also, we are talking about electricity generation. So the only way, or one of the few ways to keep the decarbonization up and going is actually including the hydrogen as one of the key elements. Here I'm showing you one infographic. I think it's quite self-explanatory. But I would like to share that there are two main stages. One is, we will call it the upstream, that is basically the generation through, they were mentioned before, solar, wind, and hydro, where Spain is actually one of the largest contributors of renewable energies in the world. But we also have the organic waste coming from different industries like the agriculture. So this actually, through all of these sources, actually we can generate hydrogen. The first one through an electrolyzer, that is an electrochemical device that actually converts, or I will say splits, the molecule of water into hydrogen and oxygen. And that is probably where most of the players are looking in Spain and around the world. So in Southeast Asia, people are, companies are looking for opportunities in which they're basically they use a PPA or source of solar and wind. Obviously, as higher is the utilization factor, lower will be the price of the hydrogen that you produce. And but again, these elements are only intermittent. They don't generate electricity all the time. So that creates actually a lower utilization factor that increases the price. However, if the installation is properly well made, actually and size, basically you can use during the day to generate hydrogen that actually can be used as a fuel or as an energy vector in the evening or any other time that is needed to contribute to the grid. Now, the other type that is actually we are quite involved is actually the small distributed projects where we take agriculture waste and could be chicken manure, could be straw, could be beans, could be whatever is organic. And actually, what we do is we transform it into biogas. Biogas, we filter it, converting into biomethane. And from biomethane, we convert it into hydrogen. So that's basically one of the scopes that we have in Hawaiias. We are working in projects currently in Europe, especially in Spain, where we have actually looking at a project in Asturias, in the northwest part of Spain, where we are actually using 90 tons of organic waste, mostly comes from cattle and from cheese quay, and it will be transformed into hydrogen. Now, here in Southeast Asia, I see that there are some fellows from different countries. We are looking at projects currently in Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines. We haven't started in Indonesia, but it will come. And in these cases, we see that there is a lot of potential. We see that the supply chain is a little bit more complicated given the infrastructure, but that is something common also in Europe. However, in Europe, the pipeline is actually working. It's already the natural gas pipeline reaches most of the places, or large. It's quite broad, I would say, and you can actually connect directly to the pipeline, and actually you can sell your hydrogen to the market, and at a very, very reasonable price. Now, when we start doing compression, liquefying, or changing the molecule into a new organic carrier, then there is an additional penalty that actually you have to bear at the end. You have actually to pay in the final price. We see, and again, I would like to share this with openly, because there are some, I have seen research institutes here that they're attending to this event. So we see actually that there are a lot to do, especially in the efficiency on the electrolyzers. There are different technologies for different type of source of energy, but we see that the efficiency has to grow, and obviously the price has to go down. There are a lot of new projects where in research institutes are trying to work in that direction. Probably one of the things that looking to Spain that is also applicable to Southeast Asia could be interesting is probably looking to the generation of hydrogen, direct generation from the solar without having an electrolyzer. It's something that I know that Repsol is working on that, but I find it like a very interesting technology because it will help to reduce a lot of the components of the equipment, and they will reduce the capex, make it more affordable. The other thing that I see that is interesting from the research point of view, from this power to gas, as it's called when we use electrolyzer, actually is the use of salty water instead demineralized water. If that is possible, many of the problems that we are having in some areas actually can be solved, because we will be able to feed our electrolyzer with salt, seawater, right? That is, I would say, in certain way is endless. From the other side, from the waste to gas, that is basically from the organic waste, we see actually that it's becoming more and more popular. The solutions are more, I would say, are linked basically to specific areas. Probably the part that we see the most most complicated is actually how to convert, also again, coming to the efficiency, how to convert the waste into gas, an affordable price. And the main reason is because, yes, we can reach to the biomethane level, that is basically natural gas, but from organic source. But when it comes to hydrogen, we need to use a reformer that actually, unless it's very, very large, the size of the plant is not very competitive. The rest, as you can see here, actually is the generation here, but also this is I will say the applications of how we can use it. It can be used in the industry, as I mentioned before. It can be used for trains, for ships, for forklifts, for example. Many of we discussed some days ago with some clients that they're actually looking for converting their current forklifts. They're trying to convert them into hydrogen. This brings some advantages versus the electric forklift. The same for trucks, the same for buses is coming. You have seen that, again, Chema has been sharing some examples of some projects that are going on in Spain. Now, how we usually work, just to give you an idea, and again, this can be extended also to different areas of in Europe or here. So basically what we do, we provide a turnkey solution, or a one-stop solution, I would say, in which we actually, we listen to the customers what they want. And if they want only to have hydrogen, we ensure that through different technologies, as I'm mentioning here, we generate the hydrogen, we sign a renewable hydrogen supply agreement, and we sell it, right? And that is what is coming more common everywhere, because at a certain point, this kind of contracts will be so common as today we are talking about PPAs for electricity. But in some cases, some of our clients are looking for more specific solution, which includes also the application. As I was mentioning, forklifts, but in some other places, they are requesting also solutions regarding to heating and cooling. This is a good example for south of Spain, or for in terms of the cooling, also similar to Southeast Asia. We see also that in Southeast Asia, for example, even when in Spain we have similar situations, I would say they are not extreme, and we don't have so many blackouts. So the hydrogen actually provides a good solution to, in an off-grid situation, to generate hydrogen that can actually be implemented in the middle of the forest, or in the middle of a place where there is no electrification, and actually can provide power in those hours of the day that there is no electricity. Then one last one that I think that makes sense, besides the industrial energy, that for welding, glass production, and semiconductors, is the chemical feedstock. That in principle is something that, as you well know, the value as the gas is going up, so is the fertilizer price. So one of the things that the green hydrogen allows is to generate it independently, with that security of controlling the cost, and be able to generate that fertilizer that is so useful for the agriculture. So in Spain, as we are seeing, for example, in Fertiberia, that actually is looking for a huge plant of green hydrogen to generate fertilizer, but something that can be exported here into Southeast Asia. All in all, I think that Spain is ahead, because I believe that Europe is ahead on this matter than Southeast Asia. But the good thing is that things that are going to take time to optimize will when they're optimized, it can be even now, but down the road, they will be optimized and can be exported here to Southeast Asia. So I will drop my email, but anyone who wants to contact with me for any question or any discussion, research or business-wise, feel free to reach me. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you very much, Miguel. Muchas gracias. And now we have Nora Fernandez from Technology Research and Innovation. She's the Director, Manager and Coordinator in the Energy and Environment Division. Technology is an important research and development institute actually located in northern Spain, in the Basque Country. So thank you, gracias, and eskerrik asko, Nora, and the floor is yours.
Okay, so do you hear me well, right?
Yes.
Do you hear me? Okay. So thank you. First, I want to give thanks to John and the organizers for inviting us. It's a pleasure to for us to be here today presenting. I will put it in the presentation. Some of the projects in which we are working at Tecnalia and at, let's say, at a regional level in the Basque Country dedicated to hydrogen and industrial decarbonization. So, just some slides about Tecnalia. Tecnalia is a big research center in the north of Spain. We are 1,400 people and pretty much focused on delivering technology and applied research. We have several offices around Europe and also Latin America, but as said before, our headquarters are in the Basque Country. And we have like different, let's say, business models, but the biggest or the strongest one in our case is the R&D, research and development through different projects, innovative projects. So we have within this, let's say, model, the three main units that using here, and we are going to now look at the capabilities and the projects that are within this energy, climate, and urban transition unit. Okay, so the two, let's say, departments that are more, let's say, involved in the projects I'm gonna talk now are the two energy planning departments and the hydrogen department. So in the energy planning department, we basically work with developing different energy models, integral energy planning. We do also develop our own software in order to make the characterization of different areas of a given city or of an industrial site. And we are also focused on delivering models and roadmaps 2050 for the industry and also for cities, regions, etc. I move forward to the hydrogen department. So we basically have a lot of things that are being done within this department related to production, use, distribution, transport, and storage of hydrogen. As we see here, and these are just some of the projects in which we are working. We used to work through using different reactors and constructing and testing different membrane reactors in order to produce hydrogen on site. We have different labs also to develop at a material scale also the membranes. And we are now indeed moving into a bigger building in order to increase our facilities dedicated to hydrogen and hydrogen related technologies testing. So the idea today was to give you, let's say, an overview of this project, which is called Net Zero Basque Industrial Supercluster. Basically, it's because this project is having like a very political commitment. Let's say it's a very intensive initiative that is driven by the Basque government with the support of the World Economic Forum, and basically is just a sign of how the things are being moved toward the decarbonization in the Basque Country. So first I want to give a little introduction of what we are speaking about. The Basque Country is one of the, let's say, considered by the European Commission also one of the biggest, let's say, or a strong innovator. We basically, the industrial activity in the Basque Country is very important and indeed represents the 24% of the GDP in the Basque Country. And now we are talking about, I mean, the emissions that are derived, or the energy consumption derived from these industrial activities account for the 35% of the total energy consumption in the Basque Country. So this poses like a big challenge, and indeed we really have to look forward on how to decrease these emissions that account for 7.2 million tons of CO2. And indeed, this project, Net Zero Basque Industrial Decarbonization Project, aims to abate the emissions that we see in here. This is also in line with, and just also a bit of the context in the Basque government. There is also a big commitment to the decarbonization, and is supported by the let's say the Basque Green Deal that aims to reduce emissions, increase energy efficiency measures, and also achieve bigger renewable energy mix. So looking at the project, basically the goal of the Net Zero Basque Industrial Supercluster is to accelerate the transition to net zero emissions in the Basque Country through the support and let's say generating market opportunities for the industries involved. All these, of course, like supported by the technological development of the centers we are involved in the project. This project is supported, as said before, by the Basque government with key industrial partners that are Iberdrola and Petronor, located also here. Some offices, of course, are located also in the Basque Country, and also with the support of the industrial partners that are of, let's say, that industrial partners from these 5 sectors that we see here: pulp and paper, foundry, steel, cement, and oil refining. These are the 5 sectors that account for the 67% of the emissions and have been selected to really go forward and tackle the emissions reduction by to zero, the net zero emissions reductions to zero by 2050. As said before, this project was supported and is being supported by the World Economic Forum. So it was selected by them in order to participate in the initiative they are pushing, named Transitioning Industrial Clusters Toward Net Zero. So the WEF is organizing meetings each 6 months. And the Net Zero Basque Industrial Cluster is being attending these meetings in order to get the technical, legal, and regulatory aspects support by this organization. So looking at the project is 1 year. I mean, it's a 1-year project with 6 phases. And basically, the phases are dedicated to do a characterization of the sectors mentioned before. Phase 2 is the identification of the different technologies and measures to reduce emissions and achieve decarbonization of these sectors. Phase 3, we are looking at the potential value chain and how all the stakeholders of the value chain will be contributing to the pilot projects that we will define in the phase 4. So basically, the idea is that we have all the supply and demand partners involved in the projects that are finally defined in this phase 4. And looking at where we are now in the project, we have already done the diagnosis of these industrial sectors, and we are now finalizing the identification of the technologies and solutions in order to achieve the decarbonization. So these are some examples of the energy consumption per sectors and per type of, let's say, energy type. We have done the same for the, let's say, greenhouse gas emissions. And we also have done this specific and deep analysis per sector, in which we can identify what processes and what points or steps in the processes are the highest consuming ones, and mostly looking at high temperatures, basically because it's they are going to be like the most challenging ones. Okay, so looking to the technologies, we have defined 9 categories of the technologies that we want to ubicate in these 9 categories, and the ones that are basically that will run like the project or like how the roadmaps are going to be for these sectors are, of course, green hydrogen, electrification, energy efficiency, and carbon capture, because we really have to look at potential long-term solutions, and everything says that, of course, this will play like a very important role. Some subcategories for those categories identified before, in order to identify the measures and the technologies we have selected. And just to let you know that these now are being like characterized. We had a list of more than 250 measures for the decarbonization of these sectors. And this is one of the most important things about the project, that we are making this contrast with the industry and with the technologists, and knowing the sectors and the technologies, of course. So we believe that we are going to have like a very well supported and solid results in order to make a solid roadmaps for 2050. And I wanted to also to talk about the Basque Hydrogen Corridor, which is pretty much linked to the project before, because of course, well, you will see that one of the leaders of this initiative is linked to the decarbonization of the Basque industry, the project before. And they are pretty much in line with, let's say, the identification of projects and pilots from one to the other. And of course, because this is going to be like the hydrogen ecosystem that we are defining for the Basque country. So the main characteristics of this hydrogen corridor is that the goal is to create this ecosystem in the Basque country, and we have like the leading partner, Petronor Repsol, with another 78 companies. Basically, there is like a big quantity of investment in here by 2026, with 1,300 millions, and then the potential creation of jobs that are in the plan. So 20,000 tons of green hydrogen are going to be produced by 2026. That's the expectations, in order to avoid 1.5 million tons of CO2. So very, very important figures. Also, things or how the context is helping this hydrogen ecosystem. Said before, like the high industrial activity driven region, which is the Basque country, with other infrastructures that are close to our area, such as the port of Bilbao, the refinery, which is also in this area, and the important transport and electric gas infrastructures of the Atlantic, let's say, area. Basque government is also like focused on the hydrogen strategy, and this report was launched by the Basque government. It's public, you can consult it anytime. Some other figures and key indicators of the Basque hydrogen corridor. So as you will see here, a lot of, I mean, there are some very good objectives of producing hydrogen, also other type of synfuels, and supported also by the hydrogen pipeline, by 7 refueling stations, 2 hydrogen power trains, and other hydrogen-powered buses, as you see here. So these numbers are basically focused on 2026. And of course, like we will work also with Petronor in order to look at how should it be for 2050 in the long term. Just to let you know, in this initiative, there are like 6 categories in which different projects are going to be developed. And as you see here, we have 38 projects already approved, and that will start running in order to achieve the objectives defined before. This is the big network involved in this Basque Hydrogen Corridor. I believe I am done. If you have any question, please, you can just contact me. And thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Nora. Muchas gracias. And thank you everyone for. Sorry. I was saying, yeah. Thank you very much, Nora. Thank you everyone for attending. It has been a pleasure to hear all your insights about the renewable hydrogen and how it drives the energy transition in Spain, how Spain is making a bet into it, and how it can be really helpful for this important need of energy transition. So yeah, thank you Nora, thank you Miguel, thank you Jose Maria, and thank you Ana Flor, and thank you also to the Euraccess team, Susan and Jan especially, for your help and for organizing this event.
Thank you so much, John, for your final words, and thank you so much to all the panelists for a very interesting, very detailed, and very specific presentation today. Thank you everyone who was participating in the session. As we said at the beginning, you will receive an email from us shortly where you can watch the recording of today's session again. And our panelists, I'm sure, will also include their presentation slides and some background information. So for those of you that have now learned something where you think you would like to find out more and explore potential collaboration opportunities, we've had a few requests in the chat and in the Q&A. We will, of course, be your facilitators. So Jenny and myself, we are in the region. We are looking forward to taking this further for you and with you. So without much further ado, I think we're all ready for a little break. Again, thank you so much, and we hope to see you again and for the following session of Spain tomorrow, looking at digitalization and global health. So thank you so much for joining us, and have a great afternoon.